Hello AP 3D design students. This is a short demonstration of how to construct your cardboard chair, or at least how to put cardboard pieces together, how to cut them, how to glue them, and how to shape. These are the basic tools you'll need, something to cut on. You don't need a cutting mat, but you do need cardboard or something to cut on so you don't scrape your table. You need some kind of cutting blade. An X-Acto knife works well and you have a lot of control over this, or you can also use a utility knife. You can get these for $1 at the dollar store or a couple dollars at an art or craft store like Joann's, Michael's, Genesis Art Supplies, something like that, Dick Blick. A good pair of scissors helps. I mean, you can use less sharp scissors, but if you know anyone who sews or has a good pair of scissors, it really makes a difference in the cut. You need a ruler. I love metal rulers, but a wooden ruler or a plastic ruler will work just fine. So those are the tools and materials you need. Also cardboard boxes, of course. This is single-ply cardboard, which is a one layer of corrugation. You can see it on the side. The double layers work great. They're really strong, especially if you want to make a functional chair, but they're very hard to cut by comparison, so practice your cutting, and if you can handle double layer, cool. If not, single layer is fine. The chair doesn't have to be functional. It does have to be artistic, first and foremost. And also, where can you get these boxes? Well, I just got this in the hallways of Lane Tech, but you can go to a grocery store, any kind of store around the corner from your house is bound to have some old corrugated boxes that they can give you for free. You can also get flat ones at Home Depot for a couple bucks if you want really clean, flat cardboard. But I recommend that you use used cardboard and try to make something out of nothing. So those are the tools and materials. First, I want to talk to you about cutting. And cutting is important, doing it well, and showing good craftsmanship. So as you're cutting, you might want to draw out your design a little bit first with the pencil. But when you do decide what you're going to cut and how you're going to cut it, you're going to use, to cut any straight lines, definitely use a utility knife or an X-Acto knife. You're going to get a much straighter cut. You can cut against the ruler, a much better cut than you're going to get with scissors. Scissors can be used for angular cuts. I'll show you that in a minute. So if I want to cut this, one thing I want to be really careful for is that when I'm cutting that my thumb isn't in the way. This is the #1 reason people can get cut when they're working. So measure off a distance of a piece of cardboard that you'd like to cut, and then you're going to slowly and gently push your X-Acto knife into the cardboard. And if you notice, I didn't try to go through in one stroke. I go through in multiple strokes. So holding my ruler steady, making sure my thumb is out of the way. I go through several times, and that's going to give me a nice clean edge. I'm looking for good craftsmanship in your projects, and this is good craftsmanship, just not, if you try to go through really deep, really fast, and you don't use a ruler, it's just harder. I mean, that cut came out okay, but it can come out really shaggy. Another thing that can give you a shaggy cut is not having a good blade. For example, this utility knife, I've used the blade quite a bit. It's getting a little bit dull, so I want to flip off the edge of this and start with a fresh blade once in a while, or a replacement blade, and that really makes a difference in the quality of the cutting. So do replace your blade quite often, and you're going to get a good cut. Also, you're going to cut, with using some pencil marks and using, this is really nice because it has a grid on it, so if you're making squared off angles, you can get your hands on a cutting mat. Totally not necessary, but there, I'm going to cut off a couple pieces. So I'm just going to make some miniature pieces just to show you how to connect parts, and then you can go about making your sculpture. So after I cut some pieces that I want to put together, I'm going to show you how to glue. And the gluing is done with a glue gun. The great thing about a glue gun, the reason you don't want to use Elmer's glue is that it takes a few hours to dry, 24 hours to fully cure. Whereas a glue gun, it dries almost instantly. It's hot, it comes out nice and warm, and then you're gonna be able to connect the parts instantly. So you're gonna, a glue gun you can get also at any kind of craft stores, or you can get them at like Home Depot, Ace, any kind of hardware store. They're used for craft projects and construction projects. And you just put the minimal amount of glue. You don't want glue sticking out all over the place. So another part of good craftsmanship, just having a nice clean corner, making sure the glue isn't coming out. If it is, wipe it away quickly. And there you go. Something that you can do to make your corners stronger is to put some hidden fasteners on the inside. So sometimes I'll cut a little piece, and this, you don't even really have to cut that nicely, but you can put in another piece in here that nobody's going to see, or even bend it and stick it in the corner there. And this will actually give it a little strength from the inside, so there's some tricks that you can use to make your pieces a little bit straighter. So stick some glue in there, get a piece in that corner. So you're only allowed to use glue and cardboard, no other materials. I suppose if you were to use tape or something, as long as it's not showing on the inside, but there should be nothing showing, just cardboard and glue. So that's how you would bind some pieces in the corner. There's another method of constructing pieces and putting them together, and that is called slotting. So this is where you can take pieces, and you don't even need to use glue. You can put your glue gun away. And for slotting, you are going to, you have a piece of cardboard that you're going to connect to another piece. Always use your ruler to really get a better. And then you're going to cut out a little chunk of the cardboard. Pull it out. And then you can stick other pieces in there. So you can actually construct an entire chair or sculpture just by using slotting and absolutely no glue at all. So that would be a challenge to try to undertake if you'd like, or you don't have a glue gun handy, go for it. All right. Another thing that comes in handy is to learn how to bend or score your cardboard. And to do that, get another piece of cardboard out here. Scoring is a way of making the cardboard bend really neatly. So say in, little 1 centimeter parts here, I'm not going through the cardboard, I'm just lightly skimming the surface with my X-Acto blade, and then I'm gonna bend it. So right on those score marks, there we go. Some of these didn't go through quite enough. You get the feel for it. Go back and make it just a little bit deeper. There we go. And this is a way of making something bend in a circle or connecting it sideways. So say you have the silhouette of your piece. You want to make something three-dimensional, not one-dimensional like this where you have flat pieces. I mean, it's still 3D, but it's just going to be flimsy. Make sure every part and every shape of your piece is solid and that you have pieces that connect to other pieces. So say I wanted to bend this piece around the corner, I could glue it in a way that made it round out. So bending and scoring is something you can utilize. I want to talk to you a little bit about safety. A couple things that come up with safety. One is cutting yourself. Just be really careful. It's not going to kill you, but you can actually draw quite a bit of blood if you accidentally cut like this. So just make sure your thumb is always out of the way. That's the way most people will get an injury with an X-Acto knife. Also make sure you retract the blade when you're not using it, or cover it. And then second, when I have a glue gun, I like to use the low temperature ones because they don't tend to burn. You can buy low temperature or high temperature glue guns, and the low temperature ones, even if you touch the glue, it doesn't, it's not comfortable, but it doesn't burn you. But the high temperature glue guns can really burn you. So be careful with those. Keep a little bit of water handy. If you accidentally get some glue on yourself, just stick your finger in the water right away. It cools it off, makes it fall off. So just be careful not to burn yourself. Hopefully you'll have no cuts and burns when you're done. Most people do fine, but just wanted to cover that. And other than that, good luck. Hi, I was just looking around my room and I noticed that I had a chair that was left over from last year, and this is a really nice example. This student really used the idea of negative space, which is an important part of this project. What is negative space? It's the area that's not taken up by the sculpture. So if you look at these parts of air that circulate but create shapes, like visible shapes in and around the sculpture, that's considered the negative space. So with the AP portfolio, they're always talking about unoccupied space. So you have occupied space, that's the space taken by the cardboard, and then the unoccupied space. So in this case, these little air pockets that are between the bottom and the shapes that are cut out from the sides. Even this nice little touch down here where there's a little foot on the chair is a really nice artistic touch as far as the design goes. So really thinking about design. This isn't just a sculpture class, but it's a design class. And with design, you're thinking about shape, contour, and all of the principles of design, which you should research for this project. There's rhythm, harmony, balance, focus. You want areas of dominance, contrast, and proportion. These are all things to think about as you're designing. So just wanted to show you a good example, and I'll show you some other pictures of chairs that students have made in the past years.